Today on Crave, we have a truly unique guest, Riccardo Berdini. Riccardo is a talented mentalist, magician, and producer, known for creating unforgettable experience both on stage and behind the scenes. Now, let's connect to Los Angeles, where Riccardo is joining us. We are so excited to have you, Riccardo, with us today.
Hello, guys.
So, Riccardo, you start in musical theater and have you even won awards? What drew you to this path and how did it shape your career?
Well, musical theater has been a big passion of mine since I was a child. I fell in love with Jesus Christ Superstar, the movie, when I
Oh,
was a kid. I couldn't stop watching it for like hours and hours every day. I was really in love. And then there was another big, huge show in Italy called Notre Dame de Paris, inspired by the novel of Victor Hugo,
mhm.
that really shaped a lot of my musical taste and in my youth. And I dreamed about doing musical theater, so I started to write musicals. I wrote two musicals at the age of 18. One was called The Halogen Child. The other one was called A Light in the Darkness. And I made this show in my home city, in my hometown Trieste. And then I just decided to do a musical theater academy because my passion was going there. I mean, actually, mainly a filmmaker, as you can tell from the background. But
Okay, I can see.
but yeah, that's what I wanted to do to be since I was 4 years old. But then I met musical theater through movies, through Jesus Christ Superstar, and I fell in love with musical. And then I thought, well, let's do musical because I don't even know how things happen in my life. I just have an instinct. I go for it. I do what I really like. I follow my passions, and then life takes care of itself. And so I did this fantastic musical academy in Italy, and it was amazing because it gave me a lot of incredible tools. They taught me acting, they taught me tap dance, they taught me classic dance, they taught me singing, they taught me classical singing, pop sing, rock sing. So a lot of good techniques. It was 3 years, a very strong academy. It's called the Bernstein School of Musical Theater in Bologna,
Hmm.
and it was directed, if you can say directed, by a very strong Canadian woman. She was like a dictator with very strict rules, and it also
Wow.
taught me a lot of discipline, which I never got in my life. So it was absolutely a blessing, and thanks to that, then once I finished the academy, I started to be casted in some of the major show in Italy, and I became one of the most successful performer in Italy, and everything ended up with the role of Jean Valjean in Les Mis, which is, I think, the dream of every performer. It was really an honor and a blast to play that character. But after that, I love musical theater, but at the same time, it's a little bit musical theater. It's beautiful, but as a performer, you're just a performer, and I'm a little bit cursed with a lot of creativity, which can be good, but sometimes it's even a little bit too much. I need to create. I create my music. I write my script. I create my story. I have to create. And just the performer was not fitting to me. So, since I was in love with movies since I was a kid and I always wanted to be a filmmaker and a director, I moved to Los Angeles. I did a big leap of faith. You say? Yeah, leap of faith. I
Yeah.
moved here and it was hard. It was hard at the beginning.
What was the biggest challenge and how did it influence you as a performer as well?
Um, the biggest challenge has been to be an immigrant in this country because it's not easy to be an immigrant in this country. It's not easy to speak a different language and to learn a new language, especially from a performer point of view, because I have to perform in English. So I have to be actually very fluid. And another challenge has been the sense of humor. Because one thing that people don't understand that is a big barrier between different cultures and different countries is the sense of humor. Because Americans, they laugh for certain things, Italians, we laugh for completely different things. So I realized that most of the time people were laughing for things that to me were no jokes. And I was happy because it was working, but I didn't understand why is this happening? What is happening here? And so it was challenging to understand American culture, to get into a completely different vision, education even. There are certain things that maybe for us are normal and here are not very, like kissing, touching each other. We Italians are extremely touchy. I had problem being touched at the beginning, as you can imagine. We don't have many physical barriers. While here, there's a lot of respect, even too much respect, if I have to be honest. Like, it's nice to touch each other in a healthy way. It's human connection is the way we're made for.
Mhm.
But maybe it's nice because I was born in Italy, and that's easy and natural for us. So this component were a little bit challenging at the beginning to insert in this new society. But from a performing point of view, it was, I don't know how this happens. I mean, I came here to be a filmmaker and I had to make money and survive one way or another. And I discovered this insane passion for magic that grew on me so fast without even realizing. I stopped doing auditions for acting. I stopped doing a lot of things. I just focused on magic, but not consciously. It was just my instinct. I couldn't stop learning, studying, going to the magic castle, learning from magician, studying lectures, studying books, learning new tricks, and eventually it was natural. So I became
Right.
quickly. I rose and was able to become a successful mentalist in Los
Yeah.
Angeles.
What first drew you to mentalism, first of all, and how do you connect it, with the power?
So mentalism is a branch of magic that, of course, is it's the magic of the mind. Okay, all the things that concern the mind influence, mind reading, incredible mind power, even bending metals. Uh, there are so many things that levitation can be mind mentalism, can be
Mhm.
from the mind. But I want to be honest on that. There's no power. I'm not a psychic. It's magic. Okay, so we know it's not truly real. But the things that actually attracted me from mentalism is that part of it is actually real because there's a strong component of hypnosis and mind influence. There's a strong component of um, psychological subtleties and psychological tips that you can use, and the magic of the mind is the only kind of magic that actually people understand is way more real than the other kind of magic is. So that's what drew me to mentalism. I'm a storyteller, and I realized that through mentalism I could make my story more believable because it's the most powerful and believable kind of magic nowadays. And also one thing that was very important, the gift you call it. There's no gift. No one has powers, in my opinion, in life. I don't really believe in psychic. I don't believe in a lot of things. I'm very practical, pragmatical. I'm also very religious, which is
Yeah, exactly.
weird nowadays. It's weird, but I'm still proud of it, even if there are two crazy people out there. But there's still some people that are, balanced in the way they have their faith. Um, but the gift that I have, that I'm very proud of it, is that I love to connect with humans. And I think that is because I'm Italian. We Italians, there are many things that don't go in our country, so many that we can just start the list now. But there's one thing that we're very good. We know how to connect with people, to connect honestly with people, to understand people. I have this gift that I understand people. I understand them. I can clearly see where they come from, what's the problem, what's their issues. I can get in the shoes of people very, very easily. And that helps me to do mentalism because when I do mind reading or mind influence or when we do some, experimental together, there's another thing that I do that I love to connect people together. So I'm just a conductor, I would say, like I
Mhm.
conduct the orchestra, and then
Okay.
people think of something, and then they think of something together, or they feel
Mhm.
the touching of each other, or I love to use the entire crowd sometimes for this kind of experiment. Mm, it's fun. It's fun because mentalism has a lot of roots in reality, and in the end, it's just a way to have fun, make friends, because I made so many friends performing mentalism, and connect people together.
Yeah, also, you are a skilled mentalist at the regular at the Magic Castle. What does performing, there mean to you? And also, how does it influence your approach to magic?
Well, the Magic Castle has been everything for me. I learned most of what I know at the Magic Castle. I met some of my heroes at the Magic Castle. I now perform there, which is a great honor. It's a beautiful family. All the greatest magicians in the world perform there or have performed there. There's one of the biggest library, if not, I think the biggest library of magic in the entire world.
Oh.
Yeah, and it's only accessible by members. And also, it's been great to do a lot of networking. I'm also a filmmaker, so sometimes I bring my investors, my producers, some celebrities. I bring them to the Magic Castle because it's a very exclusive club, as you know. Only members can get in, and we spend beautiful nights bonding together, connecting, becoming friends, and it's been really one of the most important thing that I had the pleasure to find in Los Angeles.
Okay, what's one feeling or message you hope people take from your mentalist show?
Well, as I said, the things that I love the most is when people comes to my show, I want them to forget completely about the way they live their life and the way they interact with each other in their life. And for a moment, they feel vulnerable and they feel happy in being vulnerable. Because when we are vulnerable, and we're not afraid of being vulnerable, it's the moment that we really connect with other people because we realize that we're all the same. We all need the same thing in life. We all need to be loved. We all need to have fun. We all need to eat, drink, and then go to the restroom. I'm sorry, we all do it. Even Brad Pitt and Scarlett Johansson, they go to the restroom every day. Sometimes we forget about this and we take
Uh-huh.
everything we do too seriously. But it should be way easier to connect, to understand each other, and to stay together, to enjoy this incredible gift that is life. So what I hope I do in my shows is to celebrate life at its best.
How can people find you? Do you have a website, your show schedule?
Yes, I have a website. It's riccardoberdini.com. Riccardo with two C's because it's Italian. In Spanish, and Latinas would be Riccardo with one C, but we are
Uh-huh.
Italian, we're complicated. So we have to put a double C, riccardoberdini.com, and people can book me there. I work a lot in private parties, corporate events, private events. I have to do a show in Vegas next month for like 10,000 people. They found me through the
Wow.
website. So if you Google my name, find me through the website, that's what happened.
Okay.
And then I perform sometimes at the Vibrato. I have this magic and music show. The Vibrato is a beautiful jazz club. And since I was a musical theater performer and I'm a musician, I try to combine magic and music, which is, I think, in music is a great part of mentalism because the way music is able to influence our mood, our choices, and even who we are. It's incredible. So it's a perfect tool for mentalism. And to do this magic and music show at the Vibrato, I took a break out of it because now we're location scouting for my directorial feature debut. So there are no dates right now for shows, but there will be soon because I love to perform, of course. And then I perform also in another venue called Melrose Umbrella, which is owned by my great friend Austin Melrose and Zach Patterson. They are two amazing guys, and they have this speakeasy fantastic in West Hollywood called Melrose Umbrella. And I do an intimate mentalism show called Formamentis, or I perform at the Magic Castle. So these are the shows that I have in town.
Hmm.
That I'm in town. But yes, either my website or my
That's
Instagram,
great.
they can find
Yeah.
all of the information they want.
Also, Riccardo, I was reading about your 6 steps to educate your mind. What's
Yes.
the most powerful technique you believe everyone should know to unlock their full potential and become the best version of themselves?
Well, I think is the first step, which is acceptance. So it's acceptance of your flaws and your fears, because most of the time we don't accept who we are. We fight it because of past traumas, because of bad experiences, because of lies that we like to tell to each other, but if you really understand who you are and you accept your flaws becomes a tool, a powerful tool, and there's nothing to be ashamed of. So I think the first step of acceptance is very, very important. This is a series of conferences that I do, or keynote speech that I do for companies all around the countries. And again, I hope to help people to understand that our mind is the most powerful thing that we have, and it
Mhm.
can influence everything in our life in the most powerful way, in incredible ways. So I'm glad you brought this up.
And finally, here on Crave, we love highlighting people passions behind performing. What passion that truly drive you?
Jewelry. I am a big jewelry
Ah,
fan,
I can
and I'm
see
creating
it.
a new. I'm creating my new line. Actually, it will be called Riccardo Berdini.
Great.
I'm gonna
So
launch
wow.
that's
it
your
at the end of
passion.
the
Eh?
month. I
That's
love jewelry. I don't know why, but everything that is aesthetic. I'm also a huge fan of interior design. My father is an architect, so I don't know. Maybe it runs in the blood of the family. I love fashion. I love everything that is
fashion,
aesthetic.
yeah.
I just don't like when
Italian,
aesthetic becomes more important than who we are. That's what I don't like.
Yeah.
right. Yeah, grazie mille. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you guys. Thank you for having me.